The world of aviation is one that's been both beautiful and confounding, because in a way, none of these machines should work, and yet they do. Even the ones that are so big you would swear that they couldn't fly, and yet they do. Which only makes it all the more amazing when they make bigger and bigger planes to fly around the world and we don't bat an eye at them. So allow us to show you some of the biggest planes in the world today. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 8. Stratolaunch. Let's start off this list with a plane that absolutely would fit in the "there's no way that flies" category. This is the Stratolaunch. Your eyes do not deceive you. This is a massive plane with a set of bodies, also known as fuselages, that help give it a wingspan of over 117 meters. As for what the purpose of said aircraft is, it's not what you might expect, because the Stratolaunch wasn't designed to go and take people to various places, but rather it was designed to take rockets and missiles up to the upper atmosphere, and its weight capacity was estimated at 1.3 million pounds, ensuring that it would have a massive payload should it need to drop it somewhere. It was also able to carry things like vehicles should the need arise, thus could help with space travel and a variety of other things. What also might surprise you about this project is that it was the brainchild of Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen. Haha, didn't see that coming, did you? Number 7. Hughes H-4 Hercules, also known as the Spruce Goose. The Hughes H-4 Hercules is actually one of the oldest planes on this list, as its first flight was over 70 years ago in 1947. Much like many large aircrafts, it didn't have the longest takeoff time its first flight, but it was enough to prove the concept worked and as such became one of the largest planes ever. Now, not surprisingly, this plane came from the mind of legendary aviator Howard Hughes. He made the plane out of wood and used 8 engines to go and make it work. And work it did, though it never became a true plane like others on this list. Its only prototype is currently preserved at the Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum in McMinnville, Oregon. Number 6. Antonov An-225 Marya. The Antonov An-225 Marya is a very special large aircraft in its own right. First and foremost, it's the heaviest aircraft that's ever been made. Just saying something when you think about it. Plus, with an 88-meter wingspan, it's the largest wingspan craft that is currently in use by services. Here's the twist on that though. There's only one in service because there was only one made. How does that work? Simple. It was made during the time of the Soviet Union, and while a second was under construction, the Soviet Union eventually collapsed and thus the solo plane was all that's left. There were rumors that the Chinese might be wanting to pick it back up, but that hasn't happened yet. Number 5. Airbus A380-800. When you have a name like the Airbus, you know it has to be big, or else you'll just be lying to everyone. The Airbus A380-800 specifically had been constructed with its 80-meter wingspan and its double-decker frame to go and be a help to people. Help people how? Well, at the time of its initial construction, the airports of the world were very much congested, to the point where some felt the need to have bigger planes to help more people move around. The Airbus A380-800 is able to hold about 850 people, which is a lot for one plane, but most of the time it goes at around 500 passengers. This plane has actually been very popular in the UAE, but in the other markets, not so much. But that's the risk you take when you make such a massive plane. Number 4. Boeing 747-8. There are many planes that have gone into the skies and flown people around, but for the last several decades, planes like the Boeing 747-8 are the ones who have been doing the brunt of the work. Not to mention, the 747 is synonymous for air travel and carrying lots of people from one destination to another. True, it's not the biggest plane in the world and its wingspan is only 68 meters, but it makes up for its length, reliability, and being the perfect size to ferry people around. If you go to an airport and take a flight, more than likely you're on a 747. The Boeing 747-8 is the latest version of this legendary plane design and is indeed the longest airplane in the world. And until something comes around to dethrone it, the 747 isn't going anywhere. Number 3. Antonov An-124. Not to be confused with the other massive Russian plane we talked about earlier, the Antonov An-124 is a plane that has many distinctions about it that prove that it's very Russian. And yes, a very large plane. Its wingspan, for example, is over 73 meters, and it's the largest military transport aircraft in the world. And it was also the biggest for heaviest mass-produced aircraft until the 747 came along. The reason that the Antonov An-124 is so well used is because it has the ability to carry lots of heavy cargo, including helping carry massive parts for various space programs of the world. Number 2. Lockheed C-5 Galaxy. The Lockheed line of aircraft are known for being able to do a wide variety of things, including sending craft like the U-2 to the edges of our world for recon. But the Lockheed C-5 Galaxy is known for a very big purpose: transporting aircraft. This massive craft is able to lift tanks, helicopters of great numbers, and then transport them wherever they needed to go. Transports like this don't get a lot of fame or recognition, but they serve a big purpose. And the United States have been using the Lockheed C-5 Galaxy for a long time because it does its job very well. Number 1. HAV Airlander 10. This last entry may surprise you because it's not a true airplane, but rather a hybrid blimp. Yes, HAV Airlander 10 is indeed a hybrid blimp and the largest aircraft in the world in terms of its true size. You might wonder why such a ship is being developed and tested, and it's because many people feel that this kind of ship has great potential going forward. But it's still undergoing testing, so we'll have to see just how well this airship lasts. There you go, everyone, a look at some of the biggest airplanes in the world today. Can you believe how big some of these planes are? Which ones do you look at and think they shouldn't be able to fly? Do you think we'll be able to go and make even bigger ones? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.